Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens. With that, we head across the Atlantic to London. Standing by with the call and maybe a little jet-lagged, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thank you. We are about 4,300 miles away from you there in Orlando as we come to you from the European home of the NFL, London, England. Coming up, another edition of the NFL International Series, and it should be a good one, between the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens. Up in the booth with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden, and kickoff straight ahead, CD. What's one thing that you're going to have your eye on?
I think about what the great coaches of the past always said. The key to any ball game. Can you rush theirs and protect yours? Well, in this case, both of these teams get after the quarterbacks. I'm watching the pass rush.
Josh Lambo now ready to put this one in the air. And we are underway here in London. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Ravens now ready to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the man taking number 3 overall back in 2008. It's their now veteran quarterback, Matt Ryan.
And at times it's hard for me to believe I'm saying veteran Matt Ryan. Still remember him coming out of Boston College, full of enthusiasm, mastered their 2-minute drill in his first OTA. What a player.
Play action, Ryan. And his first look is incomplete. And we look at this offense now, and Zach Martin will be important for this team today.
He's so good, Brandon, that you can play him at any position in the offensive line, and I think he's a Pro Bowl player at each spot.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw again, Ryan. Got his man, that's the Pro Bowler Julio Jones. Julio Jones all alone. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Julio Jones, 75 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Will Lutz on for the point after. And the Ravens lead at 7-0. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their 6'5" quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's Carson Wentz.
He didn't have as many throws or plays in college as many of the quarterbacks that were coming out in the draft, but he maximized what he had. Ended up winning 2 national championships as a starting quarterback at North Dakota State.
Here we go, Pac-Man. Waiting!
It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day.
Done!
On play action, it's Wentz. And finding the tight end Hooper. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5. The starters now defensively for Baltimore.
K'Wan Short came out of Purdue as one of the top-rated defensive tackle prospects. Now he's one of the top-rated NFL players.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. From the gun, it's Wentz. It's complete to Lockett. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd down, it's Hunt, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Luke Kuechly combines speed, intelligence, toughness, puts it all together. It makes plays like one we just saw there. He may not be a big-time blitzer, but, boy, he knows how to pursue straight ahead and make plays in the run game.
2 running plays, each lose a yard. They'll need to do much better now on 3rd and 12. Shotgun now for Wentz. And that is incomplete.
Easy work. It's easy work. It's coming again.
You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed, if there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And coming up on their second drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice, that it all came together. But I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
40. Check. Hey, watch the ball.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Watch the slant.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. On second down, Cook. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. 1 yard officially on the pickup, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 11.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On third down, Ryan. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Eric Armstead, the defensive end, will get credited for the sack.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there was just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
Here's Johnny Hacker now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. $12 yards on the return that time. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Now left side on the swing pass. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. They'll run with Hunt on 2nd down. And he will make his way back to where he started from, and that's all, as we will make our way to the 2-minute warning. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. Wentz now to throw. And he's got a man open. That's Allen. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Here we go.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Wentz. He's got Hooper on the short connection. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Now Wentz. He's got Hooper on the short connection. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Wentz going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Wentz going to throw. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. On play action, Wentz. He'll let this go for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Keenan Allen, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. Now Wentz. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off at the 36.
Let's go, baby.
So it's 3rd and long, and you know this is going to be a pass. So defensively, they're bringing an extra defensive back and just blanking the field. And this is an ill-advised throw right here as it winds up being picked off easily.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. He's only had a couple of carries. I mean, when you've got a horse like this, 2nd quarter, got to start to ride that horse a little more, don't you?
You can't just neglect him. He's got to touch it, and often, in order to get maximum out of him. Typically, these types of backs, it's the accumulation of carries, and that's when you see the damage as the game goes on.
Yeah, let's see. They're going to try to get him into the flow, we would assume here. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Ryan. To the right side to Eric Ebron. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they're march off another 15 against your squad.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. Ebron with it over the middle. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. A good down to possibly take a shot, and in fact, they'll come up with an empty backfield on 2nd and inches. Now Ryan. Caught by Jones. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Ready, blue 80. Back 25.
They'll throw on first down with Ryan. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. An 18-yard touchdown grab as the Ravens push further out in front. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off by the Baltimore score. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. To throw is Wentz. It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Come on now. Let's go.
So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has certainly been one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference as the teams have already come back out onto the field for the second half. So let's get you back out as well to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. To throw, it's Wentz. It's caught, Lockett. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. A gain there of 21 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Here we go. Waiting. Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it.
From midfield, here's Wentz. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. On second down now. It's Hunt, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
Unfortunately for you, you've been around me for a little while now, so you know me as well as anyone and how I look at a game. I don't ever advocate abandoning anything. But in this case, I'm going against my own thought process. You've got to change it up. You got to start throwing it around a little bit, finding ways to try and move the ball because keeping on the ground just isn't working for them.
Yeah, maybe get him the ball out of the passing game. A swing pass outside or something, just something to vary it up. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. K-Rod short with a sack. That's 315 pounds of man right there.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5 all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So, yes, your definition is apropos in this case.
Ready. 44, come on. Hey, tag. Switch it. Come on, switch it. Ready, set.
Now Ryan back into his end zone. Taken in by the tight end Doyle. And he'll get this up to the 4 right about there, and that's about it. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Final minute now of the third quarter. Here's a carry for the fullback. That's Anthony Sherman. And that won't buy him much room. Just a 1-yard gain to the 5. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on third down. Ryan. It's caught. Jones. And able to get it across the 10 to the 15. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down. Going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now they have a little more space to maneuver from the 15, first and 10. From the pistol, they run it with Cook. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on first and 10. On the carry, it's Cook. The tackle by Eric Armstead. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And that's complete to Jeffrey. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. From the shotgun, Ryan. And he connects with Ebron. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. First down, here's the run with Cook. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They run it again with Cook. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Now the Broncos will use their third and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Johnny Hacker now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Carson Wentz in the offense. Down by 2 touchdowns. 1:38 to go. They've yet to score all game long, but now they need to do so twice in short order to have a shot. On play action, it's Wentz. This complete to Lockett. And he is out of bounds right around the 34. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver first down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wentz. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. 25 yards that time.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. First down now, but that clock rolling. Wentz. He's got a man. That's Keenan Allen. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. K1 short in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
Exactly what they were looking for. They've been giving up yardage. They've been letting them drive right downfield, but they got a sack right there. How about that for a little bit of revenge?
Now Wentz signaling frantically, let's get to the line. Now Wentz, I think this is going to be a free play. Left side complete to Lockett. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Here we go. 120.
Strip the ball. Strip that ball.
They fake the give. Now Wentz. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off inside the 5. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And they did it in shutout fashion. Impressive.
Would it be too bland of a statement to say they didn't have the greatest day offensively? I mean,
did enough, though. Did enough, but yeah, you're right.
Most games, it wouldn't have been enough. So they've got to go into the locker room and applaud their defensive mates and say, guys, you really carried us today. We'll try and get you back next time. But as for today, you guys are nails out there.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say cheerio from London.